Drawing from the successful system of communal bike sharing used in many cities throughout the world, the district has launched its own bike share program too, Capital Bikeshare. Gabe Klein, former director of DC's Department of Transportation, has advocated for a greener city from Bikeshare's initiation.
I went to Montreal about a year ago and saw this system and immediately knew that this was a system for a world-class city like DC. Montreal sort of overnight went from being a place where bikes were a secondary or tertiary mode of transportation to being a primary mode of transportation when they launched 3,500 bike share bikes, and they also put in bike lanes and cycle tracks. And when you match something like this, a system like this, it's this sophisticated, with really good facilities and physical upgrades throughout the city, then we can really start to serve people on a mass scale and hit a tipping point with cycling. So it's more than just something recreational. It's a basic way to get around. It's a primary mode of transportation, and that's what this system will do for the District of Columbia.
I talked with Chris Holben, project manager for DC's Department of Transportation, about how the Capital Bikeshare program works.
My name is Chris Holben. I work with the DC Department of Transportation. I'm a bicycle program specialist, and I'm also the project manager for the Capital Bikeshare program. Bike sharing is a self-service bicycle rental program that's in the District of Columbia and in Arlington County. There are approximately 114 stations, locations around the city and in Arlington, with around 1,100 bicycles. And what that means is you can become a member either for a day, a month, or a year. Walk up to any of the stations, take a bike out, and use it, and return it to any other station in the city. The beauty of our system is that they're removable. They're solar powered, so there's no construction needed to connect to the electricity grid. We actually just sit them down on the concrete and plug them sort of together like Legos. They're in 10-foot sections. So we can either make them larger or smaller, or we can just pick them up and move them for any reason. Whether there's construction in the area, we need to move it for trucks to get in, we can move them. If there are neighbor concerns, or if there's a safety concern because of traffic can't see around the bikes. So it's
For all of those Capital Bikeshare riders who have decided to trade in their car or bus ride for a bike, realize that these riders are responsible for contributing to the district's greener development. Keep in mind that the total distance covered by bike sharing programs per day is over 130,000 miles, or 5 times around the world. The CO2 footprint of a car covering the same distance as all bike shares in one day equals over 81,400 pounds. And lastly, by just one person switching from driving to cycling to work over a 5-mile trip each way saves 1.3 tons of carbon-2 emissions a year. With these statistics, more people should be concerned with their carbon-2 emissions and should consider alternative modes of transportation throughout the city. More importantly, residents and commuters of the district need to support and promote the expansion of Capital Bikeshare. Again, Chris Holben is here to talk with us and will elaborate on the district's Department of Transportation's plan for expansion of the Bikeshare program. Capital Bikeshare has seen much success in its first year.
We're already going to be expanding after this first installation of 100 stations to 20 new stations next year, next spring and summer. And then we'll see how the system progresses as more members join. There will be requests for more stations, and we'll need to have more stations and more bikes.
The nation's capital paves way to now having the largest regional bike share system in the United States with over 100 stations and 1,100 bikes. In addition, Bikeshare had a nice way to round out the year by making Best of 2010 new transit systems around the world. This has been Haley Samuel Jacobus reporting live from School Without Walls News.